With all the cancel culture going on right now, people getting canceled for ridiculous things, now the leftists have come for Planned Parenthood. It's really ironic, but again, it goes to show you that the mob will never be appeased. Now, the left is a huge supporter of Planned Parenthood. They're a huge supporter of female choice, right? The left is very pro-choice. That is why they're huge supporters of Planned Parenthood. But to the left, Planned Parenthood isn't woke enough. Now, one of the things that a lot of people, especially a lot of pro-life individuals, argue about Planned Parenthood was that Margaret Sanger, she was an overt racist, and many argue that the reason why Sanger actually created Planned Parenthood was to decrease the birth rate of minorities, particularly African Americans. Now that's what people argue. Well, now the left wants Planned Parenthood to remove Margaret Sanger's name from the clinic due to her racist eugenics and her racist history. I know. It's only a matter of time. Like I said, it was only a matter of time before they would, you know, before they would actually come after Planned Parenthood. But like I said, I'm not surprised. That's one of the arguments a lot of pro-life individuals use against Planned Parenthood in regards to how Planned Parenthood was founded with the purpose of, decreasing the birth rate of African Americans. Right. That's why Planned Parenthood tends to target a lot of communities of minorities, Hispanics, blacks, Asians, and that to me is very shocking in the sense that leftists would expect minorities to do such horrendous act. Now, my stance on abortion, I'm not gonna bring it up because this isn't about my stance. It's about cancel culture and how the left will never be satisfied, no matter what you do, no matter what you do to appease the mob. You can bend over backwards, you can bend your knees to the maximum. They will never be satisfied. So why is the woke mob going after Planned Parenthood now? Well, let's see why they're removing the name, even though we already know why. Well, let's see what's the reasoning behind it. Planned Parenthood of Greater New York announced Tuesday that they plan on removing founder Margaret Sanger's name from a key clinic after acknowledging Sanger's legacy of supporting eugenics and racism as part of an effort to reckon with the organization's history. Pro-life groups have long pointed out that Sanger's purpose in founding Planned Parenthood was to encourage communities of color and other unfit and feeble-minded groups to practice strict birth control, and at least according to Sanger's own writings, which are widely available, and yes, they are. If you read her text, my university for some reason they have a lot of files in regards to Sanger. Like really, they do. I was looking at the archives I was doing a history project, and I decided to look up Margaret Sanger, and there's a lot of records on her from biographies to historiographies to even primary sources from Sanger herself. And I read them, and they're very, very racist. Like especially the primary sources, right? All the historiographies and the biographies, they bring up her racist history. But dude, this woman was an overt racist. I'm glad that a lot of the pro-life people brought her history up, but again, at least the left is acknowledging it now. Like I said, that's what happens. The left will never be satisfied. That's the purpose of this video. Today, eugenics is suggested by the most diverse minds as the most adequate and thorough avenue in the solution of racial, political, and social problems, Sanger wrote in 1921, for example. Previously, though, the abortion provider has brushed off concerns about Sanger's beliefs as complicated and described her own letters, which refer to using abortion to limit and discourage the overfertility of the mentally and physically defective, as inartfully written. You do know when she mentioned these mentally and physically defective individuals, she was referring to minorities, and that to me is frightening. This woman created an organization to limit the birth rate of minorities. That is just scary. But again, that's what happens. They didn't want to acknowledge it, but now they're acknowledging it. But even then, they're still defending it. They call it inartfully written. Right. Of course. When it comes to their movement, they get a pass. Oh well, that was written 50 years ago. It was a different time then. But God forbid you talk about George Washington and Thomas Jefferson, and they'll automatically cancel you. It's like, even though it was 150 years ago or even 200 years ago, it's still not an excuse for today. But for our people, yeah, it was a different time then. That to me is just ridiculous. If you're conservative, if you did something 20, 30 years ago, they'll come after you. But if you are a liberal, they'll give you a free pass, as long as you bend the knee, of course. But again, these people are still defending their founder, even though she was an overt racist. And I mean racist in the actual term, not the leftist term. Supporters insist that Sanger's ultimate goal was to empower women to control their own fertility, a goal which for them Already racist for more unsavory beliefs. Yep, Planned Parenthood did that. That was a tactic. That Sanger was a champion for women's rights, when in reality, all she wanted was minorities to not have as many kids. That was Sanger. But last month, following the death of George Floyd while in the custody of Minneapolis Police Department, employees of Planned Parenthood Greater New York, or PPGNY, published an open letter accusing the corporation's hierarchy of gross mismanagement and pointing out Sanger's flaws as a key element of the group's ongoing issues with white supremacy. Planned Parenthood was founded by a racist white woman, the letter noted. At least they're calling her out now. It took them that long, but now they acknowledge it. It is a part of history that cannot be changed. While efforts have been made to undo some of the harm from institutional racism, many of these issues have worsened. Tuesday, in response, PPGNY announced that they will take the extreme step of removing Sanger's name from their clinic, now previously known as Margaret Sanger Center. The removal of Margaret Sanger's name from our building is both a necessary and overdue step to reckon with her legacy and acknowledgement of her contributions to historically reproductive harm within communities of color. PPGNY's affiliate board chairwoman announced in a statement per the New York Times. Now they're acknowledging it. But hey, cancel culture, it comes for everyone. It's a virus. The left is a virus. A virus isn't going to stop at your hand. It isn't going to stop at your lungs. It isn't going to stop at your liver. It's going to stop when the entire host is dead, and that's what cancel culture is. The United States is the host, and cancel culture and the left are the virus. You will never be woke enough for these people. Just by bending the knee, you're going to think, oh, the virus is gonna skip me. No, it's not. It'll come after you. They already came for Thomas Jefferson. They said they only wanted Confederate site was torn down. Now they're going for Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, Frederick Douglass, an abolitionist, mind you. Right? They're going for Ulysses Grant, the general who literally led the charge to end slavery. They were tearing down statues of abolitionists as well. It was only a matter of time before they came after Planned Parenthood. Like I said, a lot of pro-life individuals have brought the organization's racist history already. They already brought it up, but at least the left's not acknowledging it. But like I said, that's cancel culture for it. But let me know what you guys think. Do you guys already know about the racist history of Planned Parenthood's founding? Did you know that Margaret Sanger was an overt racist? Did you already know that, or you just barely found out today? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like I said, sharing the video, subscribing, liking the video helps out a lot. And if you guys want to follow me on Parler, like I said, free speech. If you're a huge supporter, it really does help you meet new people. But if you guys want to follow me on Parler, or you guys even want to start your own Parler account, feel free to do so. It is free, and feel free to follow me at Hispanic Trendsetter. But now we're going to be going into a different subject in regards to Black Lives Matter and how to remove murals without making yourself look like the bad guy. At least, not as bad. I'll see you guys in a bit.